In a small village surrounded by golden fields lived an old farmer named Hari. His life was simple. Sunrise to sunset, he worked on his land with hope in his heart. Though his clothes were worn and his house small, his spirit was larger than life. One morning, as he prepared the soil for planting, he found two tiny seeds in his palm. They looked alike, but one seed had a small crack. He placed them both in the same patch of earth and whispered, "Grow strong, my little ones." Days passed, and the first seed sprouted quickly. It grew tall and green, reaching toward the sun. The second seed, the one with the crack, stayed beneath the soil, struggling silently. The first seed mocked it, saying, "You'll never see the sunlight like I do. You're too weak." But the cracked seed never gave up. Though the wind was harsh and the soil was heavy, it kept trying. It pushed a little every day, 1 inch, one breath at a time. Weeks later, the cracked seed finally broke through the surface. Its tiny green leaf waved in the sunlight for the first time. The farmer saw it and smiled warmly. "You made it," he whispered, watering it gently. Time went by. Both plants grew, but in different ways. The first plant stood tall and proud, basking in the open sun. The second grew low and strong, its roots deep and firm. Then one summer, a great storm arrived. The sky turned dark, the wind howled, and rain poured without mercy. Lightning struck the fields, and the plants swayed violently. When the storm finally passed, the farmer ran to his field, heart pounding. The tall, proud plant had been broken and flattened to the ground. But the smaller, cracked one still stood firm. It had bent with the wind, but never broken. Tears filled the farmer's eyes. He looked at the little plant and said softly, "Your weakness was your strength. The crack that once held you back made your roots strong." Years later, that single plant produced more seeds than any other. The farmer began to share its story with children in the village. One day, a young boy asked him, "Grandpa, why didn't you throw away the cracked seed when you saw it was damaged?" The old farmer smiled and said, "Because I've learned that even broken things can grow beautifully if they're given a little care and patience. Sometimes the strongest souls are the ones that are cracked and healed." The story of the two seeds spread across the village. People began to see life differently. The young stopped fearing failure. The old found hope again. A blacksmith who had lost his shop to fire started again with courage, saying, "If a cracked seed can stand tall, so can I." A widow who had lost her husband began teaching children, saying, "Even in brokenness, there's purpose." The village slowly changed. Every person began to treat their struggles not as curses, but as chances to grow stronger roots. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, the old farmer sat beside the field, watching the cracked seed's descendants sway in the golden light. His grandson, now a young man, sat beside him. "Grandpa," he said, "how do you always stay hopeful, even when life is tough?" The farmer smiled and picked up a cracked seed from the ground. "My boy," he said, "life doesn't always go as planned. Some people grow fast and tall like the first seed. Others struggle, break, and heal. But what truly matters isn't how tall you grow. It's how deep your roots go. Storms will come, but only those with strong roots survive." As the evening breeze brushed across the field, the farmer whispered, "The crack is not your weakness, it's your story." That night, under a sky full of stars, the lesson of the cracked seed lived on. A reminder that true strength doesn't come from perfection, but from perseverance. Moral of the story: your struggles don't define your limits, they build your strength. Every setback you face is shaping your roots for the storms ahead.